Imagine waking up every day, feeling perfectly fine, going about your routine, never suspecting that something dangerous is happening inside your body. What if your arteries were clogging right now, slowly, silently, without a single obvious warning sign? Would you know? Would you be able to stop it before it's too late? Most people have no idea their arteries are in trouble until something catastrophic happens. A heart attack, a stroke, or worse. But what if I told you there are subtle hidden signs your body gives you long before disaster strikes? Signs that, if you recognize them in time, could save your life. If you think heart disease is something that only happens to older people, think again. The modern lifestyle, processed foods, sugar overload, stress, lack of movement, is clogging arteries at an alarming rate, even in young adults. Right now, in your body, plaque might be building up, slowly narrowing the pathways your blood needs to flow freely. But here's the real shocker. Most people don't feel a thing until their arteries are already dangerously blocked. So how do you know? What are the warning signs? What does your body do to scream for help before it's too late? And more importantly, what can you do right now to reverse it? In this video, we're going to uncover 7 surprising signs that your arteries may be clogged, even if you feel perfectly healthy. Some of these will shock you, things you would never associate with your heart. But by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, and most importantly, how to take action before it's too late. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe. Your health is the most valuable thing you have, and staying informed can literally be the difference between life and death. So hit that subscribe button now, and let's dive in. Let's start with something that seems completely unrelated to your heart: erectile dysfunction. Yes, you heard that right. If you're a man and you've noticed that things aren't working quite like they used to, your arteries might be the problem. Why? Because erectile dysfunction isn't just about testosterone or aging. It's often one of the earliest signs of cardiovascular disease. The blood vessels in that area are much smaller than the ones in your heart, so when plaque starts to build up, they're the first to be affected. If blood flow is restricted there, it's likely restricted elsewhere too. And the worst part? Many men ignore it, chalking it up to stress or getting older, not realizing that it's a red flag for a much bigger issue, one that could lead to a heart attack down the road. Now, let's talk about something millions of people experience but never connect to their heart health: chronic fatigue. You wake up tired, drag yourself through the day, feel drained even after a full night's sleep. Sound familiar? Most people blame stress, bad sleep, or a busy lifestyle. But here's the truth. If your arteries are clogged, your heart has to work harder to pump blood through those narrow passages. This means less oxygen reaches your muscles and brain, leaving you feeling exhausted all the time. You're not just tired, you're being deprived of the very thing your body needs to function: oxygen-rich blood. And what about leg pain when you walk? Have you ever gone for a walk and felt a strange ache in your calves or thighs? One that eases when you rest but comes back when you start moving again? That's not just aging, that's a warning sign. It's called claudication, and it happens when your leg muscles aren't getting enough blood due to blockages in your arteries. This is a serious indicator of peripheral artery disease, which is directly linked to an increased risk of heart attack and stroke. If you're feeling this kind of pain, your body is begging you to pay attention. But here's something even more alarming. If you've ever had a sudden loss of vision in one eye, even for just a few seconds, that could be your arteries telling you they're clogged. It's called an ocular transient ischemic attack, or a mini stroke of the eye. It happens when a small piece of plaque breaks off and temporarily blocks blood flow to the retina. Many people brush it off, thinking their vision just went blurry for a moment. But this is one of the clearest signs that your arteries are compromised, and if it happens once, it could happen again, next time in your brain, causing a full-blown stroke. Another strange sign? Jaw pain. You'd think a heart problem would cause chest pain, right? But for some people, especially women, it starts in the jaw. The nerves that send pain signals from your heart are connected to your jaw, neck, and even your shoulder. So, if you've been experiencing tightness or discomfort in your jaw that isn't related to dental issues, it could be your body warning you that something isn't right with your arteries. And here's one that surprises a lot of people: baldness. Yes, male pattern baldness, especially at the crown of the head, has been linked to an increased risk of heart disease. It's not just about genetics, it's about circulation. Poor blood flow affects hair follicles just like it affects your arteries. Studies have found that men with significant crown baldness have a much higher chance of developing cardiovascular disease. So, if you're losing hair in that area, it might be time to get your heart checked. The last sign might be the most unexpected of all: your ears. Specifically, a diagonal crease in your earlobe. It's called Frank's sign, and multiple studies have shown a strong correlation between this crease and clogged arteries. Doctors aren't entirely sure why, but it's believed to be linked to chronic poor circulation and microvascular damage. If you've ever noticed a deep diagonal line running across your earlobe, it might be more than just a random crease. It could be a visible sign that your arteries are struggling. Now, if any of these signs sound familiar, don't panic, but don't ignore them either. The good news is that your body has an incredible ability to heal when given the right tools. You don't have to wait until it's too late. There are proven ways to clear your arteries, improve circulation, and reduce your risk of heart disease starting today. The key is taking action now, before these warning signs turn into something irreversible. Struggling with high blood pressure, fatigue, or poor circulation? These aren't just minor issues. They're warning signs that your heart needs help. Ignoring them could lead to serious consequences. But there's good news. Thousands are already improving their heart health with this simple yet powerful method. Want to know how? The secret is in the pinned comment. Don't miss it. Now that you know the hidden signs your arteries might be clogged, the next step is just as critical. What can you do about it? Because here's the truth. Heart disease doesn't just happen overnight. It's the result of years, sometimes decades of small daily choices. But the incredible thing is, just as arteries can clog over time, they can also be cleared. If you take action now, and the sooner the better. So, what's the first thing you should do if you recognize any of the warning signs we talked about? The answer might surprise you because it's not just about cutting out junk food or hitting the gym. It all starts with one thing: inflammation. Inflammation is the real villain behind clogged arteries. See, most people think heart disease is just about cholesterol building up, but that's only part of the story. The truth is, cholesterol itself isn't the enemy. Your body actually needs it. The problem happens when inflammation damages the lining of your arteries, making them rough and sticky. This is what allows cholesterol, calcium, and other substances to start forming dangerous plaques that narrow your arteries and block blood flow. Without inflammation, that cholesterol wouldn't be causing a problem in the first place. So, if you want to clear your arteries, you have to focus on reducing inflammation first, and that starts with what you put on your plate. Because certain foods act like gasoline on a fire, making inflammation worse, while others work like fire extinguishers, putting it out before it causes damage. One of the worst culprits? Processed vegetable oils. You might think that seed oils like soybean oil, corn oil, or sunflower oil are heart healthy because they're labeled as vegetable oils. But the truth is, they're highly processed and packed with omega-6 fatty acids, which throw your body's balance off and drive inflammation through the roof. These oils are in almost everything: fast food, fried food, salad dressings, even so-called healthy snacks. If you want to protect your heart, eliminating these oils is one of the most powerful things you can do. And then there's sugar. If you had to cut out just one thing to improve your heart health, this would be it. Sugar doesn't just spike your blood sugar, it triggers inflammation, damages blood vessels, and increases your risk of insulin resistance, which is directly linked to heart disease. The scary part? It's hidden everywhere. Even foods you'd never suspect, like bread, pasta sauce, and yogurt, often contain added sugars that quietly wreak havoc on your arteries. But here's the good news. Just as some foods inflame your body, others do the exact opposite, helping to heal and protect your arteries. So let's talk about the foods you should be eating every single day if you want to naturally unclog your arteries. First, leafy greens. Spinach, kale, arugula, and Swiss chard are packed with nitrates, which naturally help relax and expand your blood vessels, improving circulation. They also contain antioxidants that help prevent the oxidative damage that leads to plaque buildup. Next, berries. Blueberries, strawberries, and blackberries are loaded with polyphenols, powerful compounds that reduce inflammation, improve blood flow, and help lower blood pressure. One study found that eating just a handful of berries daily could significantly reduce the risk of heart disease. Then we have fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, and sardines. These are some of the best sources of omega-3 fatty acids, which help reduce inflammation, lower triglycerides, and even prevent blood clots. If you don't eat fish regularly, consider a high-quality omega-3 supplement. Another powerful artery-clearing food? Nuts, especially walnuts and almonds. These contain heart-healthy fats, magnesium, and fiber, all of which help reduce inflammation and improve cholesterol levels. Studies have shown that people who eat nuts regularly have a significantly lower risk of heart disease. And let's not forget one of the most powerful natural heart protectors, garlic. This one simple food has been shown to lower blood pressure, reduce plaque buildup, and improve circulation. The key is eating it raw or letting it sit for a few minutes after chopping to activate its beneficial compounds. But here's the thing, food alone isn't enough. Your lifestyle plays a huge role too, and one of the most overlooked factors? Stress. Chronic stress floods your body with cortisol, which increases inflammation, raises blood pressure, and makes it harder for your arteries to stay flexible and open. If you're constantly feeling overwhelmed, your heart is paying the price. That's why finding ways to manage stress, whether through meditation, deep breathing, or simply spending time in nature, is just as important as diet and exercise. Speaking of exercise, here's something most people get wrong. You don't have to spend hours in the gym to improve your heart health. In fact, one of the best things you can do for your arteries is simply move more throughout the day. Sitting for long periods slows circulation and increases the risk of blood clots. So getting up, walking, stretching, and even just standing more often can make a huge difference. And one more thing you need to start paying attention to: sleep. Most people think of sleep as just rest, but in reality, it's when your body repairs itself. Poor sleep is directly linked to increased inflammation, higher blood pressure, and a greater risk of heart disease. If you're not getting at least 7 hours of quality sleep per night, your heart health is suffering whether you realize it or not. Now, let's talk about something even more important: testing. Because even if you feel fine, you could have clogged arteries without knowing it. That's why getting the right tests is critical. Standard cholesterol tests don't always give the full picture. You want to ask your doctor for tests like a coronary calcium scan, which can detect plaque buildup in your arteries, and an advanced lipid panel, which looks at the size and density of your cholesterol particles. The bottom line: heart disease is not inevitable. No matter where you are right now, you have the power to change your future. By making small but powerful changes, choosing the right foods, reducing inflammation, moving more, managing stress, and prioritizing sleep, you can take control of your heart health starting today. Now, if you found this video helpful, don't stop here. There's another video on your screen right now that will take your health knowledge even further. Click on it now and keep learning how to protect your body and live your best life. See you there.